All right, time to get started again. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Motivational Memories. This podcast, for those that don't know and that are reviewing this for the first time, this podcast is made for my son. So if you watch this and it's helpful, awesome. But really, this is for me to document the lessons I've learned, document things that I want. I'm not dying, but you never know. You never promise tomorrow. So I want to create an archive for my son. I also want to do it for myself, so I can remember where I've been and where I can go, because you can see the difference in improvement over time, right? So that's the basic premise of this podcast. I'm hopeful that it's helpful. If you like, subscribe, awesome. Not asking you to do it. I just really hope this is helpful. The topics, this is not a PC podcast. This is not a place where I'm not going to express what I truly feel. Nothing is censored. All this is 100% real. I might eventually have some people on, some mentors or some people that are close to me, that know me and can kind of see the difference. It is 1:20 a.m. I am ridiculous when it comes to hustling, grinding. I'm just trying to get back into shape because, frankly, I committed more to my career and got out of it. So now I'm trying to get back into it. Intermittent fasting and cardio has been helpful. Down quite a bit of weight. I have a long way to go. So I'll focus on the first line of this: hustle, grind, execute. The main thing I wanted to talk about today was execution. And I didn't find a really good image other than this one. I'm going to talk about hustle and grind, but really the big one of this podcast is execution. Because the first two are frankly irrelevant. The one that it really matters is execution, right? People talk all the time about, the way I got here or this, that, and the other, and this is the method that you should do it. And I think that's the wrong mindset to take, because we all come from a different place. We all come from different circumstances. Now, you might be in a similar circumstance to other people, but at the end of the day, how you hustle, how you grind, how you execute doesn't matter. It's more, did you execute? Now, to put some caveats on that, be moral. Don't be doing things that are really illegal, things that are, clearly wrong. I'm not saying go into some moral gray area to execute, but so long as you're not hurting other people, so long as you're, making it happen, it really doesn't matter. It's all about, did you get the job done, and how well did you get the job done? Now, we define jobs differently, or what we want to do. For me, when I see this image and when a lot of people see this image, I imagine you're thinking about financial success or career success, right? Or fitness success, right? But this can be applied to any goal that you want to accomplish. I want to be a better painter. I want to learn how to relax more. I want to get a hobby, right? Maybe not the hustle and grind part, but execution is key to any of that, right? So, son, one of the things that I want you to have is an open mind when it comes to getting the job done. Always be thinking outside the box. Always be looking for good solutions. That is what has served me well. The other thing that a lot of people have, and it's a fear that I had early on, and I was able to overcome it, was the fear of failure, the fear of not executing, right? And in most things, it's not, did I fail? Did I execute? It's like the time of it takes to execute, right? You have the ability to accomplish pretty much anything that you put your mind to. you're going to be a smart kid, and I imagine a lot of, any of you guys that are watching are also pretty smart. So, you know, pure failure, a lot of times it's more just keep pushing, keep going after it, more effort, more time. So, execute comes in different time periods, right? But it's all about, did I push through the failures to get to the ultimate goal, and identifying what the ultimate goal is. If you shrink what you're trying to execute to a specific task, or I want to run a 100-yard dash in 3 seconds, probably not going to execute, right? You're probably not going to accomplish it. But if you, it's so cliche, but if you set more of a SMART goal, right? Which, do not, I think it's like, hold on, let me look up what SMART goal really means here. Let's take a look, because it's going to kill me if I do not look up what SMART goal is. Okay. Acronym. Perfect. Okay, so SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I think that's really, really important when it comes to executing. If you set the bar too high, you're most likely not going to execute, or it's going to take you a long, long time to execute, and you're probably going to get discouraged, and you're probably going to quit, because that's human nature, right? So if you make the goal realistic and not too small, because that's the other thing is people put the bar so low, it's really easy to step over that bar and execute, right? So you're not challenging yourself. That's something that people have told me, create a bunch of small goals and then you feel good about yourself when you hit the one goal. Man, I like stretching myself. I like challenging myself personally. And I think it's really important as a man, or as somebody who's developing. Yes, you need to put SMART goals and have measurable goals, but then you need to have a stretch goal. Like, you need to have something that's like really, really tough to do. I think make it realistic where you can accomplish it, but it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really challenging, because that's the kind of stuff that is going to drive you to higher heights. I think that what I see a lot of times is people set the bar way too low. They're soft on themselves. They don't, and frankly, they just coast and they do not accomplish enough. And sometimes it takes a leader, sometimes it takes a mentor, sometimes it takes somebody else to kind of galvanize you to get to the next height. But I think, frankly, if you put goals that you can hustle, grind, and execute on that are stretch goals that will really, really push you, that's how you improve. Iron sharpens iron, right? That's you rubbing on something that's really hard and gritty, right? That's how you get sharp. That's how you get dialed in. Over and over and over again, pushing yourself to the absolute limit. Something I'm trying to get better at is doing that at the gym. If you push yourself, now I'm not saying like max out every day. Again, this is not fitness advice. But if you are pushing yourself really, really hard every single day, every single time you're in the gym, you're going to improve faster than the guy who comes in, puts in a certain amount of time, and coasts, right? So that is true in all things. What you put into it, you will get out of it. So set goals and set things as challenges for you to execute. The other thing that I've thought about with execution, a lot of people, when you want to be successful or you want to be deemed successful, right? That people tell a specific path. Now, I don't know if this is going to be true by the time you're ready, but most people nowadays get good grades in school, go get a college degree, go get a job, and you'll be successful, right? That's the formula that most people have put out there. I have met countless people, business owners, that definitely did not go down that path, definitely did not do those type of things, and would be classified as financially successful. And, when I look back, my degree got me my first job. But frankly, I didn't need it. I really didn't. I, was getting out of the military. I had some good experience. I probably could have gotten a job that I had when I first graduated college. I didn't learn too much in college that applied. I mean, maybe some accounting principles and practices, but frankly, I got a lot of that on the job training. So, really like school and things like that, I don't know if you need it to execute. I don't know if you need it to be successful anymore. And I think it's going to be less true as you are growing up, where college has become kind of a liberal institution, right? They're not, other than like engineering and maybe your STEM sciences, your law, like outside of that, most of the degrees are not helpful. Like they're not educating you to the degree that you'll make a ton of money. You'll get better experience and you'll learn more by executing on a job site and being able to understand how the work really is and how to kind of progress your career that way. And I think it's going to become more and more true as you get older that college degrees are going to become worth less and less till they're frankly worthless. So execution is not limited to one path. Whether you go to school, whether you go into the military, whether you do both, whether you do neither. Maybe you go to trade school, or maybe, you just go straight into a business and because you have a great idea. I mean, frankly, it doesn't matter. All that matters, did you execute? And when it comes to business, execution means, did you have profit? Did you have money and produce something, right? So a lot of tech companies, excuse me, and a lot of companies in more fringe spaces, they are not judged on, are they profitable? They're judged on, are they able to make money? And by make money, I mean, do they have revenue, right? And that's not the way that you should be thinking about business. Like, oh, I should just do this. To execution means you're providing capital, you're producing capital, and you have a profit. You have a profit line. Don't get caught up in these financial world things. I imagine as you get older, if you don't absolutely murder it in sports because you are already a beast at 7 months old, I think you'll probably go into the business world if you're anything like me. Now, I already kind of tell you're charismatic. For as young as you are, you love being around people. And that is like your old man. I am an extrovert through and through. I am a talker, as you can clearly see by this is what I do with my free time. So I imagine you're probably going to go into some level of business. I'll probably recommend you to go into the financial world because, frankly, that's where the most money is made. Now, there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of grind in that. And you need to have a certain level of intelligence for that. But, if you go to the finance world, you can spin off into pretty much anything because every single business needs a finance person. Every single mid-sized, small business probably needs a CFO that could probably execute the business better, right? And save money and align capital better and make sure that the cash flow is right. Like, all of those are really, really useful skills. So I'm going to push you to go to a finance school, most likely, and push you towards more of a finance degree because it's also one of the more challenging business sectors because it is complex. It's not simple. And, I already know that you're going to be really smart. So having that ability to challenge yourself and stretch yourself so that you can understand the financial analysis, I think is going to be critical. I don't think the bird fall or the apple falls from the tree on this one. Now, Your grandfather, who is partially your namesake, he was a doctor, and he came over from the Philippines with $500 in their pocket, and your great grandparents built an empire. My grandparents, they are who a lot of our success stems from. Now, granted, your old man is a stubborn dude, and I do not take money from people unless I absolutely earn it. So I joined the Army and paid my way. I paid my own student loans off. Biden didn't do that. Nobody else did that. I paid it off. And sidebar, I am so frustrated. I'm so frustrated that the U.S. government is going to use my tax dollars, because I pay a lot in taxes because I make money, and they're going to give it to underachieving, liberal, for lack of better terms, I'm not going to say that, terrible people. And there are a considerable amount of people that, frankly, if you haven't paid off your student loans, you don't deserve it. It's not that much money. It's not that much money for you to execute, go out and save and pay stuff off. It's not. And if you got a $200,000 degree in liberal arts, that's your own fault. I don't want to pay for it. Hustle, grind, execute, pay off your own student loans. I paid it off, and I paid off your mom's. I paid off my wife's, Caitlin. So, yeah, I'm not cool with it. I'm not happy about it because I did it the right way. I got my free college. Well, I didn't even get free college from the military. They just paid a portion of it. But you want free college? Join the armed services. Get a job. Pay it off. Pull yourself up by your boot. This is America. This is one of the easiest places to make money. It's one of the easiest places to make a lot of money. And frankly, even if you don't have any skill sets, get a few jobs. You know what I did when I wanted to make money? I had 5 jobs in college because I'm a psychopath. Okay, I'm not saying do that. But yeah, there's no excuses. The only excuse is you suck, right? You made bad life choices. And frankly, here's the other thing. There are no free meals. There's no free college if you're using taxpayer dollars. So should we bail out people who made horrific life choices? Or should we go take care of the homeless soldier that is on the streets with PTSD and can't hold down a job, so he's homeless? I would much rather my tax dollars go to that guy than some liberal, douchey, freaking Ivy League idiot who got a liberal arts degree from some University of Oregon. Okay? Not okay. They did not execute, so they should not be rewarded. If you do not accomplish things, if you do not put in the work, if you do not do stuff, do not expect anything. You get in what you get out what you put in. They put in crap. They should get out crap. They should suffer. This life's not fair, okay? And if you make terrible life choices, you should live with the consequences. You should suffer. You know why? Because I've done that in the past. I made horrific life choices. I suffer the consequences. This is the big challenge that I have nowadays. And I pray every single day that you do not have to face these things. And I know you're going to. Personal accountability is going out the freaking window. Everyone's entitled to everything. I see, and I'm probably going to start doing this too, where I'm going to review like videos that I see on TikTok and stuff and YouTube. And it is rough out there. It is really bad. Where these women I'm seeing, even these dudes who just like, I feel entitled to a certain lifestyle, to a certain this, to a certain that. These pretty women are like, I deserve to be, wine and dine and pay. Like, I was literally watching a video and this lady just got in this dude's really nice car. I want to say it was like a Lotus or something like that. Something ridiculous. Ridiculous. No, McLaren. Sorry, not Lotus. McLaren. And she's sitting in it for all about 10 minutes. He doesn't know her, but she's nice and wants to talk and stuff. She literally starts demanding money. Now, granted, I have no idea if these videos are staged or real. That's the challenge with the internet nowadays. Everyone is an entertainer, so you don't know what's authentic and what's scripted and all that kind of stuff. This is 100% authentic. I'm never going to do scripts. I'm just going to talk about things and lessons that I think are important for you to learn. And she is just demanding for money. And he's like, I'm not giving you anything. Like, I don't know you. Like, you're not delivering me any value. I'm not paying for nothing. And she's like, basically somewhat soliciting him, where she's like, have sex with me for money. Like, you don't want to pay for this? Like, no, I don't. I don't want that at all. You're going to struggle with the modern world. And I really hope that you take after me and, you follow in somewhat my footsteps. Again, I am not a perfect person at all. And I have some, when you're older and adult, I'll tell you some of the crazy stories of Honko and Hendy and my army and college days. Your mother hates those stories. Hates them. And they're frankly horrible. So please learn from my mistakes. Do not follow and do my mistakes. Please. I pray that you learn from your dad's failures and missteps so that you will stay on the straight and narrow, son. Fulfillment and again, like execution. What's the whole point of execution? I think for me and for hopefully you, it's to honor God. We do the best we can. We hustle, we work hard, and we execute to the glory of God. We really do. Because the more money I make, and I there's, in the mission field and in the Christian faith, I believe there's several different categories of people. And, kind of basically, there's missionaries that go out, and then there's people that are senders. You need money to send missionaries out. You need money to grow the kingdom of God. Like, this is how the modern world works. It's the reality of the situation. I believe God has given me abilities to grow and execute and send people out. So, I hope that you stay on this traditional path, because you're going to find fulfillment. You're going to find happiness. Me and your mom, sometimes we fight. Sometimes it's tough. It's tough being married. It's tough having kids. It's a lot of burden. But there are moments, man, that I'm holding you, I'm looking at you, and you giggle at me, and Caitlin's sitting over there, or we're cuddling, and or your mom's holding you, and I just look over and I see the purity of that moment, and it makes it all worth it. No many shots, no many hoes, nothing in this world makes me feel happier or better when I see those just lovely moments. And man, I wouldn't trade anything in the world. That's why I execute. That's why I grind. That's why I hustle. It's why I think a lot of men crave family, crave building a tribe, crave building an empire. It's how God designed us. And to fight against our nature and to go be a hoe and go be alone, it's not how God designed us. It's not how we were intended. And you're going to be miserable. Absolutely miserable. So I pray, and I'm going to start praying for you and your future wife, that you guys will both love God and that you'll find each other quickly and early. Because there's nothing better that, they say don't get married early, don't get married in your 20s and 30s, and they're going to probably keep pushing it back, and they're going to tell you don't get married until your 40s and make sure you sign a prenup and all that. I loved and I love being married in my 20s because I had a ton of adventures and I had someone to share it with, and I can reminisce on all of those memories and all the accomplishments and all the failures. One that sticks out to me, and this is not a pleasant memory, but there's a there's just this smidge of wholesomeness and goodness about it that just, man, it's great. I got fired from a job, sitting right here, right at this desk. And your mom had just recently quit. We didn't have the savings that we did before. We had this big, beautiful house, and the bills were higher than they had been in the past. And I had a job that was paying me great. And I got fired unexpectedly. No reason. They told me I was executing, I was doing great, out of the blue. I don't know why. To this day, I have some suspicions, but I have no certainty as why I lost my job. And I break down right here, crying my eyes out, because I'm scared that I'm going to lose the house. I don't know how I'm going to pay for things. We had some money. We had a few months. But I was terrified. And I'm crying. And your mom comes up and hugs me and tells me it's going to be okay. God has our back. And it calmed me right down. Now, granted, I still had a pit in my stomach for a long time. For probably a few days after that, just pit. Because I felt like, what did I do? Did I say something? What happened that this terrible thing happened to me? It worked out. I think God was taking me off that path and taking me out of that place and putting me in another place that I needed to be. And, frankly, what happened after that, I executed. I treated like it was my job to get another job. And I was putting in probably about 100 applications a day, working 8 hours a day trying to find a job. I got a job in 30 days. 30 days. It's great. Your mother also went back and got another job, and she's currently working it, loves it, but she's also very tired. So I think she wants to be a stay-at-home mom to spend more time with you. So I'm gonna do my best to make that happen. But that memory sucks, thinking about it. But your mom being there when I was at the lowest, and as a man, a lot of our value is put, whether, looks, financial is a big one, right? Can you provide money? If you have money, you can get girls. It's kind of the big thing in society. I don't know if it's going to remain true. Hopefully we move back more towards the traditional by the time you're older, but that's true right now. And I imagine that it's been true for a long time, and it'll probably still remain true. I had no money coming in. Now, your mom knew I had skills and all that, and maybe, but she stuck by me. She was very happy to be there. And that love, that felt like unconditional love. Now, we're humans, people. There's always conditions, right? Your mom would probably stop loving me if I cheated on her, right? But that purity of that moment, I can think back to it and I can recall the emotions that I was feeling. You're not going to get that by sleeping around. You're not going to get that by, sleeping together before marriage. You're not going to get that without just a bond of marriage and fighting through things together, and finding somebody before you have money and are successful, because then that she loves you for you, and it's not about money, it's not about power, it's not about status. That's one of the biggest things that I think men fear, and I don't have any of that, because I married young, and I married a pure girl, a Christian. And look up pair bonding, son, whenever you're older. But there's some truth that there's a reason God wants us to be virgins before we get married, because when you only have sex with one person forever, and only that one person, your connection is so deeper. God made a purpose for everything. God made sex. God made these things. And it's undescribable, the importance of it, the emotions of it, the feeling of it. And, what a lot of people on the right, or let's not make this political per se, but people in the more liberal camp versus the traditional camp. The liberals say just do things that make you feel good. Just kind of, do whatever, man. And I think they discount, because frankly, a lot of them don't believe in God. They discount the way that we're designed. We're designed in a very specific way. And the Bible outlines what we should be doing. And when you do those things, it's so much better. It's so much better because it's how we were designed to be. So again, I pray for you, and I pray for your future spouse. And what we can do real quick, I pray, Lord, that you guide my son and help me to raise him up to be a godly man that will find the spouse that's meant for him. Give me the wisdom and the strength and the ability to convey these lessons so that he grows up to be a strong man that will protect others, that will guide others and be a leader. This is my hope and my prayer, Lord, to accomplish this. Amen. All right, so that's going to be the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening. If you've gotten this far, please like and subscribe if you've gotten this far. I am going to try to put out at least 2 videos a week. I know it's a stretch, probably at least 1 video a week, where I'm gonna give lessons. And the next lesson I'm going to give is probably more centered around business and how I've gone about building portfolios of sweat equity. Where I have a pretty diversified portfolio of companies that have really massive upside potentials. And I'm essentially doing what the financial institutions do, but without money. So, yeah, I'll talk about that probably in the next podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Koa, I love you. I hope this message finds you well. I cannot wait to see what the next chapter holds for you, and watching you grow up has just been an absolute privilege and blessing to me. I hope, and for you and for all the people watching this, I hope you have success in life and in business. Talk to you again soon.